Rob Nelson, talk show host.
Because you got the 70s thing going there. I got someone's underwear.
Robert Kennedy, thanks for taking a minute. Simple question.
Tucker?
It's good to see you. Listen,
You're a Bitcoin maximalist. You're Bitcoin forever.
I hate this central bank digital currency.
Hey, I don't have all the answers, but together, I know we can find them.
Down in competition in the ratings tab for late night weekend viewers.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Happy Monday. That was a weird intro, right? It started right in the middle. You didn't get all the good stuff. That's all right. We're going to start right in the middle too. Wow. We got a lot going on. We got Iran. We got what's happening with NATO. Domestic politics, California, Eric Swalwell. Oh, so many variations. And we've got me again in like frozen static mode. I have no idea what's up. What is up that I am like a slow feed? All right, well, watch me in slow feed. This will be a short show. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually on this and rebounce myself in to speed things up. So stay with me while I do this. Hold on. All right, and I'm back. No, not as slow anymore. See, I've sped myself up. Okay, so where do I start with this? What do we want? Iran, Swalwell, NATO. Okay, let's start with NATO. NATO's history. NATO's done. NATO made a lot of sense, 60 years ago. Made a lot of sense in 1950. In 1960, 1970, probably 1980, even 1990, probably Bill Clinton 2000s, NATO made sense. NATO does not make sense. And it's not about the money. Yes, we pay for most, and we pay for most of the cost, and Europe pays a tiny percent, which is kind of like it's like a free, it's like you're like a kid with your parents, right? And they're like, it's a free ride, They pay for everything and you just kind of skim along. That's a little what NATO became, a free ride. And that's fine. Early on, it made sense. Truly, it made sense. We carried the bulk. We were the bigger economy, right? We could afford it. We could absolutely carry the weight. That made total sense. 1950, 1960. Why should, England, Germany, France, anybody have to carry that weight? We could afford to carry that weight. What's changed is not just whether we can afford to carry the weight. What's changed is what is the weight we're carrying? Like, what is the utility of NATO at this point? If somebody attacks Britain or France or Germany, we don't need an alliance, North Atlantic Treaty, Organization alliance to like step in. We can just step in because it's in our self-interest. That alliance was always meant as a buffer, a shield. Like if you hit one of us, you hit all of us. I think that's still fundamentally true. Trump's redefined it a little bit. He's going a little bit back to like old standards, sort of like old standards. So I'm going to turn the hat around. See, we're going old standards with a hat. There we go. Old standards. If you're not there for us, we're not there for you. That's kind of, okay, we go back to the hat the way it was. It's kind of what he's saying, right? He's like, okay, well, technically, nobody violated the treaty with the Iran stuff, or the Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz, but like you weren't there for us. Like you didn't show up. Even though you had a self-interest, you want the oil. We get like tiny percentage of our oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Like 25% of the world's oil does. Natural gas, same thing. You want like to keep that open, show up. Oh no, okay, fine. You know, the UK was like, and by the way, you can't land on our bases. I get it. Where Trump's like, what? You mean we can't land? Well, even we can't land on your bases? Well, well, we won't give you airspace, technically ground space, for what you're doing in Iran. Okay, fine. Then we won't pay most of the cost of defending the alliance. But again, I don't think this is really about like if you know Putin decided in his crazy last days to invade all of Europe, we wouldn't show up. Of course we would. I just think the alliance is old, outdated. I've said this about so many things. I think Keynesian economics is old and outdated. You know, crypto, use it, don't use it, don't like it. It's changing the dynamics of currency. Blockchain is changing the dynamics of how we do everything. Web3 is going to change all the dynamics around communication, infrastructure. AI will triple down on all of that. AI will change the entire framework of human civilization. A lot of these things we built in 1950 don't hold up. The UN, NATO, you know, the way we look at currencies, all of it's kind of breaking down. Keynesian economics. Yeah, I know, Keynesian economics. I get it. Supply and demand will always exist. Those will always be dynamics we deal with, 100%. You got something I want, I'll pay more if I can't get it or if there's less of it. More of us want it, less demand. I mean, more demand, less supply. We will always play that game. But Keynesian economics really isn't going to hold up in a modern AI economy. I mean, get ready for the fact that AIs are going to pay AIs. Yeah, the my twin AI that I'm creating with this company called Twin Protocol, and talk to me, Taylor. She's creating one too. Those of you who watch her and David Goxstein, we're going to get you one. It's your platform. We'll get you one. I want to watch the twin David do his show. I want to watch David's twin do the show. But the AI, so forget about like basic ChatGPT, Gemini, you know, Claude, whatever you're using. Like that's like the most basic level of AI. You know, agentic AI, next level. That's where you're going to have agents, right? Like my twin agent will do things for me, and my twin agent will work with your twin agent to do business. It's like they will literally do business without us. Now we're going to leave out the third piece of AI, which is the ASI kind of thing, which is, you know, that's like the mega AI, like ASI. That's where it's like, that's like synthetic intelligence at its best. It's advanced super intelligence, ASI. Yeah, that's next level. Let's just go to mid level. We're all going to have agents, and those agents will do business with other agents. AIs will employ other AIs and do business, and they will pay one another through crypto. They won't use cash, they'll use crypto. They'll have their own economy. That's where we're going. Exactly how does Keynesian economics figure into an AI economy where artificial intelligence agents are paying other artificial intelligence agents through crypto to do business on behalf of humans, or in some cases, not on behalf of humans? If you don't own your data, this is a shout out to my friends at Twin Protocol, but if you don't have a vault to own your own data, and by the way, you can check us out on the show I do, which is going to come, we're going to start streaming it in about a week, which I do with Scott DiGiamarino. He's a, you know, capital fundraiser, sells a lot, exits a lot of companies, and Lady Trader Ra, who those of you in the crypto space know is a massive Web3 influencer. If you, I'm promoting the other show. If you don't realize where this is going, it's just going to sweep by you. If you don't own your data, if you don't have a vault, everybody, you know, you've got your little wallets for like your Amazon, maybe your Gmail account. You might have a little Google account. You put everything in the cloud in your little cloud account. You got your Apple cloud. You got your, you know, if you're an Android user or, you know, a PC guy or girl, no, not picking genders here, his, her, they, she, he, whatever you want. If you don't control your data, if you don't have a vault that you control it in, I'm not talking crypto like your wallet. I'm talking a vault for your data. 5 years from now, you are so effed, it's not funny. You literally Forget about, forget about, the bank screwing you over, Bank of America, or, you know, I shouldn't pick on the banks, right? But whatever, they're all like corrupt. But forget about the bank taking your money, or, a corporate scam, or a Sam Bankman-Fried kind of, scam kind of thing. Wells Fargo. Okay, I had to say it. Wells Fargo. They're my favorite bank to hate. How is Wells Fargo still in business? They've literally scammed people so many times. So many. They always get their $1 billion fines, and they just go on and scam people. Sorry, like I said to my friend Neil, who is here. I'm staying with him. He's British, and I'll trash Britain before the end of this. But like it's the biggest scam in the world. It's like NFL coaches that just keep getting rehired. Mike McCarthy coached my Packers for 10 years, ran them into the ground, won 1 Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. Great, you should have won 6 like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Sorry, loser, goes to the Cowboys, loses for 5 years. Now he's like the coach of whatever, Tampa Bay or the Bengals or wherever. Somebody else picked him up. It's like these banks, these coaches, they go on forever. What won't go on forever, however, is your ability to avoid the fact. Yeah, I found a way to weave. I did the Trump weave. We're coming back. To avoid the fact that eventually, if you do not control your data, if you do not own that stuff, you are going to get screwed. Not by me, not by Bank of America, by the AIs that will literally hack you. Yeah, AIs will hack you. They will hack other AIs. The world we're moving into is not a world where people think, oh, the world where people use AI to do bad things. Guys, wake up. It's the world where AI uses AI to do bad things. Not going to be me. Not going to be somebody 10 times smarter than me using AI to do bad things. That will happen. We're the world where AI will use AI to do bad things. That's the scary world, where the super intelligent thing uses the super intelligent thing to do things to the not so super intelligent us. That's what you need to worry about. And that's why everyone's going to need to have control of their own data. My friend Brittany Kaiser, the Facebook analytics whistleblower, she wears a chain. Own your own data. She's preached this for 7 years. I've known her 5. She's literally like, own your own data. It's your only security. Google Cloud is not, Apple iCloud, that's not owning your own data. Nothing you have online stored somewhere else, even your bank accounts, that's not your data. It's not even your money. You got your money in the bank. Whose money is that? It's the bank's money. They're borrowing it out, lending it, investing it. You just have like a little credit slip for it. Technically, it's insured. Yes, FDIC. Good luck if that all goes south. Good luck if there's ever a massive national bank run. We'll see how much they can pay out. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Okay, sorry. I'm sitting literally on a bouncy ball for this show. It's kind of fun, right? Yeah, I'm not exercising, just didn't have a chair. So, okay, so that's the first thing. The data, the ownership, the value added of the world we're moving into. The AI economy, as you want to think of it. And it's not just going to take your job. It's not about it's going to take your job. It's going to take a lot of jobs. Pretty much all white collar jobs could be replaced by AI almost now, like 2 years, easy. It's not about taking your job you need to worry about. It'll redefine the economy. So there'll be new jobs. There'll be new opportunities. I swear to God, some kid who's, busting tables in some bar or bar backing somewhere is going to come up with an idea, run it through basic AI, get an agentic AI to put in place a couple pieces and sell it out. It's like, here's how all bars can do blank. And it's going to be the next millionaires, billionaires. They're not going to be tech geniuses. They're going to be human resource geniuses. We are entering the era of human resource genius, which AI will accommodate and build. And you'll either benefit or you won't. That said, we're not quite there. We're just a cusp away, but we're close. Agentic AI is happening. Basic, like I said, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all that. That's like, if you're not using AI, you're missing the boat. If you think, oh, well, I've started using ChatGPT, look at me. Okay, great. you're like already 5 years behind. Agentic AI, the twin AIs, the partner AIs, the AIs that can literally, my twin AI will do a version of this show. Now, the video won't be as good right now, but it could do an audio version probably as good as me. And it'll probably think faster than me and have better insights, and it will think like me. You know, like that's just the reality. Don't get me started on the sex part of it, like having your AI sex bots. That's a whole nother combo, which I had with David. Yeah, David, you got all uncomfortable when we had that combo, but that's all right. I don't know who's going to have the sex bots, but I would say watch Battlestar Galactica and Blade Runner. You can watch the second Blade Runner too, 2049 or 2024, whatever they called it. Read Snow Crash. Definitely read Snow Crash and Neuromancer. Read Snow Crash and Neuromancer. Read both of those books. You have to read those books if you want to understand where we're going. You know, William Gibson wrote Neuromancer in early 90s, and Neil Stephenson wrote Snow Crash like mid 83. You got to read both of them. They are epic sci-fi novels that predict. Well, they literally predicted the future 30 years ahead. They're still predicting it now. And if you read them, you can't imagine somebody wrote them 30 years ago. If you thought someone wrote them 3 years ago, you'd be like, well, that's kind of pretty bright and insightful. What a great way to look at the world. Except they wrote it 30 years ago and they're still ahead of their time. Read them both. They've affected more tech leaders. Look up Snow Crash, Neuromancer, like you will, and put in tech leaders, like every major tech billionaire, like from Bill Gates to Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg to whoever, they all talk about how those books literally, especially Snow Crash, affected them, how literally changed what they saw. I think Neil Stephenson went ahead in time and came back. And he wrote in Cryptonomicon, which is where we got the word crypto from too. Like, crypto, the metaverse, all of it's Neil. Never met him. I'm going to meet him. We're gonna have an interview, Neil, you and I. I know his business partner, right? I know a man who knew a man who knew a woman who had a horse. Okay, all right, we're running out of time. So let me take this around the corner back. We're going to go through the middle here. We're going to go through the middle to Iran. We're going to go through the middle of Kristi Noem and Kristi Noem, the former Department of Homeland Security Secretary, who shot her dog famously. Remember that? She wrote the book. She was a rancher, she and her husband. She's like, he had a dog. He wasn't compliant. He wasn't going to be a good dog. I took him out in the back and shot him. People are like, oh my God. And listen, I have a dog. Like there's no version of me that thinks you probably couldn't just take a dog and find him a better home. She argued that he was actually like aggressive, so he would bite people. So it wouldn't make sense for him to be, somewhere else. Like, sure, he didn't work as a ranch dog, but what about if you met a great pet? Well, he wouldn't be a good pet because he'd bite the kids. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. The fact that she literally described it like she was stepping on a cockroach, like I see a cockroach, I'm on Balboa Island, I see a cockroach, crunch. It was kind of like I took him out back and I shot him. I'm like, wow. Anyway, she comes to find out, glam girl, Kristi Noem, DHS secretary, wearing the badass like Charlie's Angel suits, loved it. Did a kind of a bad job, honestly, kind of let things get out of control. I think she was over her head. Guess she was good at being a governor of South Dakota, but man, imagine waking up to the news that your hard-ass husband is basically doing a John Waters Divine thing. You remember John Waters, the filmmaker in the 70s, and Divine, the cross-dresser? And Divine was like kind of a little heavyset guy dressed in drag, and he had the huge boobs. If you've not seen a John Waters film, you got to go watch it. Literally, you'll laugh your head off. Like, it's so incorrect, so politically incorrect. I mean, he was so liberal. There was no conservatism in it, but it would drive the woke crazy. It would drive the right to. You watch a John Waters film, the woke are going to go crazy. The conservatives are going to go crazy. The Christians are going to go crazy. Go watch a John Waters film. However, Divine, well, Kristi Noem's husband turns out to be like a Divine, right? He puts these fake boob implants in. Literally, they're literally like my head times two, and nipples pointing out up all over the place. and dressed in drag and went online. First, what are you thinking? Like, you think someone's not going to eventually, this ain't coming out? Maybe it's just a cry for help. Your wife was a governor. Now she's like part of Trump's cabinet. You think no one's going to see the stuff of you like doing drag queen on steroids? But I kind of love it because I'm like, wow. It's like, remember the old days in the 80s when the conservative Republicans would get caught in the bathrooms in like airports doing the hand job things? Like, it was like, wow, we've gone next level. Either way, she has some home reckoning to do. She's got some, like, she's, she's, good night, John Boy. The Walton. She's going to have some Waltoning to do. Yeah. All those family shows, there was so much dysfunction underneath. Although it fascinated me that the Brady Bunch kids talked about how the reason they never got in more trouble, although remember the one kid, Bobby, whatever, it was a Bobby, he got in a lot of trouble in Salt Lake City, just under the radar. They never got in more trouble. They had him on a podcast and they were like, well, we didn't want to disappoint like Bob and what's her name? Bob and was it Carol, the actors, who were the mom and dad. We didn't want to disappoint them. It's like, wow, like we didn't care about our parents. We cared about our fake camera parents, but they're like, no, they were like more parents to us than anyone. We didn't want them to be disappointed. So we didn't get in too much trouble. All right. Well, who's getting in trouble in our last couple minutes here is Donald Trump and Iran, because well, forget about the fact that Europe's having its own upheaval. NATO's about to go down the sewer. The conservative leader of Hungary's just got swiped. Literally, swipe left, swipe right, swipe whichever way you want. He's gone. Germany, France, Britain, they're going to have their own things. I mean, Britain's getting overrun. Like it's lost its framework. Again, this is not like an Islamophobic thing, but you've got literally people like if you let too many people inside a country that don't, it's fine. Let everyone in. Our country was a country of immigrants. Everybody came from somewhere else. Irish, German, Danish, Dutch. Well, I don't know how many Dutch people came, but German, Dutch, Eastern Europe, whatever. People came from all over, South America, Cuba, Mexico, whatever. They built this country in so many ways, shape, and form. But they came in and integrated into it and created communities within it. You had Irish communities, Italian communities, German communities. They came in and made America their own, but made it America. But if you just have a bunch of people who come in and just basically don't want it, they just want to erase what you are and put their own thing on, excuse me, that's not going to work out well for you. Britain's a tiny little case study of this. Again, not Islamophobia, but if you have a whole bunch of people who come in and just want to bring in like an Islamic Muslim, maybe Muslim's better than Islamic culture, you're not going to really be Britain anymore. You're going to be that, which is fine if that's what you want. If you don't, you got to ask people to come in, but assimilate and become part of what you are, not take it over. There's a lot of politics underneath that. There's a lot of, which brings me to Iran. Iran has no interest in assimilating to anything. Well, the Persian people do. I mean, by the way, what a beautiful culture the Persian culture was, right? Think about it. Art, science, beauty. I mean, the Persian culture just radiated for centuries. And then you had an Islamic religious republic come in and just trashed the whole thing 50 years ago. Just took it all down. In the name of Allah, took the whole thing down. I mean, talk about wiping out the beauty of a civilization. Well, let's start with just masking all the women and making them basically like little slaves to everybody else. Then let's kind of wipe out all creativity, take the tech level down. They couldn't take the science out. They kept the science part because you needed that for bombs and whatever. But I mean, you talk about what religion gone bad. I mean, there's Christian fundamentalists gone off the deep end, absolutely. But man, wow. The Iranian, that leadership, the religious infantata like mindset, he's lost it completely. And you know what they are trying to do, well, it won't work. And this again is not a criticism of Islam per se. It's not about Islam. It's any. I mean, the Catholic Church did it with, you know, back in the old 1300s, you know, the whole thing they did back then, you know, like all religions can do it, you know, like doesn't matter if it's like Christians, Islam, Jews, pick your religion. I don't care. Like, you know, they all can have that kind of process where it be, you know, you become, it's them building a nation state, if you will. And they don't really care. It's just about power, you know, and if you violate the church's power, we take you out. Well, you know, we see that now in modern day with Iran and its, you know, fanaticist, you know, Islamic religious republic. And it's all he cares about. Doesn't care about the people, doesn't care about the well-being of anybody. They are on a mission, God-inspired mission to kind of take over, get rid of us, the West, and our moral values, our moral decadency, as they would see it. Get rid of Israel because they're Jews. Gotta hate the Jews. They're done. They don't hate us because we're Jewish. They hate us because we're Western decadents. They hate the Jews just on a primal level. You're Jews. You're done. Like you're cockroaches. We're like one step above cockroaches to them. You're like, yeah, you're like mosquitoes. Either way, we exterminate all of you if we can. Okay, great. Happy, good for you. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas and Happy 4th of July. But no, I'm not going to let you do it. And I'll give Trump credit. He was like, no, after 40 years, we're not going to let you do it. We're going to step in and say no. However, they called his bluff and we're like, yeah, well, what happens if we shut off all the oil to 25% of the oil, the energy traffic? How's that going to look? Trump's like, okay, let's make a deal. Let's come on, everybody come over here. Let's make a deal. You let the traffic open up in the Strait of Hormuz and, you know, no more bombing and let's have a conversation. Well, first of all, they kept the traffic blocked up and they kept bombing, as so did Israel. But so the ceasefire was never a ceasefire and the terms were never meant to have a conversation. Vice President J.D. Vance and, you know, Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, and Steve Witkoff, the, you know, ambassador at large, do all this stuff, go negotiate for a day, 21 hours, get no results. Of course they got no results. Iran has no interest in making a deal. They're like, no, we're not going to stop trying to enrich your uranium. We want to get a bomb. We want all the sanctions lifted. We're not going to let up the Strait of Hormuz, which we now realize we can restrict oil. We're going to try to keep sponsoring what we're doing. Why? Because they're a religious infantata. They literally have no interest in stopping. So Trump's in a kind of a hard spot here. He thought, you know, he could corner them by destroying their military, which he did. But you know what? They'll go to the last cockroach standing. So no big win for you, President Trump. And now they're calling your bluff. They're like, yeah, let's see if you have the guts to go back and bomb us again, because public opinion says no. The polls are not in favor. The stock market, the NYSE, NASDAQ are not in favor. So you're going to do it? Trump's trying to find a way around it. He's trying to find a way to go, look, we got a result here. Well, Iran's being really clear. No, you got a result. Yeah, we're going to keep enriching uranium. We're going to keep a chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz. And we're going to do whatever else we want along the way. Domestically, internationally, basically F you. Trump's in a bind. He's going to have to decide, am I willing to follow through? Which, again, won't be the end of a civilization, but it will be the end of the current Iranian regime. And when he says there's a new regime, I like to remind everyone, it's not a new regime. It's new leaders in the old regime. The new leaders were part of the, yes, maybe the 5th generation down, but they're the same regime. It's not a new regime in Iran. It's the same. In fact, I think these guys are even more hardliners. God help the people of Iran, man. You right now, you protest. You have a voice. God help you. You're a woman. They are like out. They are out for blood. It's like, they bad day at work, you come home, beat up your wife. It's like that. Bad day in the international sphere, you come home, you beat up your citizens. It's that ugly. It's that bad. So, Mr. President Trump, you've got a decision to make. You're going to have to back up what you said. They ain't going to ever be good negotiators. Well, they're good negotiators. They're great negotiators. They're never going to actually operate in good faith on any of it. They will not stop enriching. They will not stop trying to get a bomb. They will not stop with their ideology, which is the West is bad, democracy is evil, women need to be subjugated to men. They will not stop with any of this. Jews suck, the whole thing, until they will go to the last person, last man standing on this, There's only one way. You're going to have to step up and be tough and follow through. And they will continue to coerce the world economy along the way. So you get what you pay for, you get what you play for. Let's see what happens. On Wednesday, David's going to join me, David Gockstein, a Jew himself. Yes. I'm not a Jew, but I'm an honorary Jew. I'd been a great rabbi, right? I mean, I don't look very Jewish, but I would have been a great rabbi. And I love going to temple with my girlfriend. Like, I love temple. Oh, I love the Jewish faith. I do. Maybe I'll convert one day. Maybe not. Either way, I'll see you all on Wednesday with David. Have a great Monday, and let's see what happens. Keep an eye on the stocks. Keep an eye on your Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to hover where it is, 71, 72. I think it's going to take a dip. I think it's going to go up to 74. I think it's going to dip down. At some point, it's going to drop into the 60s again. Don't worry. It's not going to drop below 50, I don't think. And ultimately, I'd say before 2027, October, it reaches 125. So, as they say, hodl, hold on. Appreciate everybody. Have a good night.
Meet Rob Nelson, talk show host.
Because you got the 70s thing going there. I got someone's underwear.
Robert Kennedy, thanks for taking a minute. Simple question.
Tucker,
It's good to see you. Listen,
if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you're Bitcoin forever.
I hate this central bank digital currency.